Okay, everybody, so today we are going to develop the ring that we were supposed to do last class, but I know that a lot of you still have a lot of questions and you couldn't make it through the ring and you probably forgot how to do it. So, what we're going to do today is like step by step, we are going to develop the ring, and at the end, you will be creating your own ring. Okay? So, first of all, we're going to open Rhinoceros and create a new model with small objects millimeters. Okay, so we're going to choose small objects millimeters, and we are going to see that we have the four viewports. The four viewports should be enabled, and also check that you have the snap, the planner, and the OSNAP activated with end. So we're going to activate the end button. Okay. After we've done that, we are going to maximize the front view, and we're going to draw our first curves here. The first part of the ring would be a circle, like the inner part. So on the left pane, we have the circle option, and we are going to locate ourselves in the origin point. The origin point 0, 0. We're going to click, and then we are going to type on the command line 9. This would be a 9mm radius. After we create our circle, we are going to create two arcs, one below the circle and the other one above. So let's start with the first arc. On the left pane, there's an option called arc. Now, if we read the command line, it says center of arc, deformable, start point, tangent, and extension. We are going to choose the start point because we want the start and the end of the arc, and we are going to locate 2mm on the left of the circle. So we're going to click and go all the way 2mm on the right of the circle. After we click again, we are able to bend our arc, so we're going to take it 1mm below the circle. So this is our first arc. Now with your right click, you can actually move it down so you can have a better view of the top. So we're going to create another arc in the same way. We're going to click on arc, then start point, then we're going to locate ourselves this time 5mm above the circle and 4 to the left. Then we're going to click and move 8mm to the right. And we're going to bend this arc, we're going to bend it 3mm down. After we have the two arcs, we need to close these two surfaces, these two curves, sorry, and we do it with an option called extend curve, that it's located on the curve toolbar, and we're going to choose extend curve by arc to point. After we select this option, the command line says select curve to extend. So we're going to select the curve, the arc that we drew in the bottom, and we're going to extend it all the way up. We're going to do the same thing with the one on the right side without doing anything, just clicking on the arc and taking it to the point. Now we have the outer part of the ring. We are going to create now a parallel curve very similar to the one on the outer part of the ring. What we're going to do is that we're going to use a tool called offset that is located on the curve toolbar. So we're going to use offset curve, and then we are going to offset this curve. But right before that, I forgot to tell you, and you can just cancel this option with escape. And what we're going to do is that we have two curves. We have two different curves. Now, these two curves need to be joined together into one. So with the option join that's located on the left side, we're going to join these two curves. Just click on both of them, and then now we have a complete closed curve. Now we can do the offset tool. So curve, offset curve, and where it says select curve to offset, we're going to choose the outer curve, and then we're going to choose the distance where we need to make the parallel curve or the offset curve. So we're going to type on the command line 0.8, then press enter. Now you can make an offset curve outside of 0.8 millimeters or inside. So we can click anywhere on the inside of the curve. So now we have this small curve that it's inside our ring, and what we're going to do right now is that we're going to deform it a little. Now you can deform any curve that you want using an option called control points. Control points are located on the left pane. It's an option that says control points on. You're going to click on it, and you will have all the points selected. So what we're going to do right now is that we're going to select from left to right the 3 points on the bottom, and we are going to drag them six millimeters above. So as you see, our curve, it's completely modified. What we're going to do right now is that I'm going to take the control points off just with right click on control points. If we minimize the front view and look at the perspective, we actually just have 3 curves. We don't have any solid. That's the one we should do right now. And what we're going to do right now is create a solid out of the curve. So we're going to choose solid, then extrude planar curve, straight, and we are going to select the 2 curves that we are interested in for extruding. So we're going to choose on the front view, we're going to click on the outer circle, and then we are going to click on the inner circle, not the one in the middle. Now we're going to press enter, and before we click anywhere, we are going to read the command line. It says extrusion distance, direction, both sides, cap, delete input. So we're going to click on both sides because we want the extrusion to be in both sides instead of one, or just starting on one. So I want it to grow in both sides. So on the top view, I am going to extrude my solid 3 millimeters. Okay? Now, after I extrude my solid 3 millimeters, if I want a better view, I can right click on perspective and just choose ghosted. Okay? Now, with the curve in the middle, we are also going to extrude a solid. So select the curve on the middle. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Solid, extrude planar curve straight, but this time we are going to extrude it only 2 millimeters. So look, what we have is like a surface inside another surface. Well, actually this doesn't work as a ring, but what we're doing here is that we are going to try to take away all that surface inside so we can save material. Remember that rings are made of gold or silver, and the more material you save, the better. So, since we can't notice very well what are the 2 surfaces, we are going to put them into different layers. So, maximize the perspective view, and there's like a pi symbol on the top pane, and click on it. And what we're going to do is that we're going to select the surface inside, just click on the surface inside, and then right click on layer 1 and choose change object layer. Now you see that you have a red layer and a gray layer, so they're in different layers so you can distinguish the 2 of them. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to create the Boolean difference. So you're going to type on the command line Boolean, and with the mouse you're going to choose Boolean difference. Now, if you read the command line, it says select first set of surfaces or polysurfaces. In this case, we're going to choose the big surface. So we have the big surface, and then we're going to press enter. Then the command line says select second set of surfaces or polysurfaces. In this case, we're going to choose the inner part of the surface and press enter. Now, as you see, we created a difference between the outer surface and the inner surface. Okay, so we actually have saved a lot of material. Okay, very good. Now, since it's a ring and it has to be comfortable for our fingers, we need to kind of smooth the edges a little. So there's an option on the solid toolbar that says fillet edge. Now, fillet edge needs a radius, like how much he needs to fillet. So for our ring, we're going to choose 0.2. Then press enter. Okay, now this is a little tricky part. So what you want to do is that, like, every edge of the ring that you want to fillet, you can zoom in and just like click on it, and you can start creating all the different edges that you want to fillet. Like, I would like to fillet the circles inside because those are in contact with my fingers, and maybe the outer part because it's very pointy. Okay, so as soon as you have all your edges selected, you press enter, and then press enter again. So finally you have smooth edges on the ring. Okay, if you want a better view of this ring, you can right click on perspective, then choose rendered. Okay, now for now this ring does not have any material on, so what we're gonna do is that we're gonna add a little bit of material and just renderize a little. I'll show you how you guys can renderize, and then you can create all your new version of it. So first of all, let's choose the render, current render, flamingo ray trace. Okay, after we choose the render, we're going to choose flamingo, then materials. So there is a window with all the materials here, and what we're going to do is that I'm going to put it on a side so I can choose the materials that I'm going to use. In my case, I want to use maybe I don't know, some type of metal like silver, maybe something light. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select all my surface, then right click on the material and select assign to selected objects. Okay, now you don't see it, but actually the ring has the material on. Now if I want to create a better environment, I should go, here I have like some plants, here I have some lights, some environment. So here in environment, I'm gonna click on sun and sky, and I can choose I can choose any time of the day. I'm gonna turn it on, and I can choose like the sunset, like if it's daylight or it's sunset. Okay, so I chose the sun and sky, and I'm gonna choose the ground plane. Like the ground plane, for me, I think it gives it the most live to the model. So let's choose maybe car paint, blue metallic, or whatever. I know that you guys are gonna do it a lot better. Now, since the ring, it's under the plane, we have to put it up. So what we're gonna do is that on the front view, I'm going to select the ring and rise it over the ground. Maybe a little.